blue, Cream Esports on the red, and immediately Geo takes Sephora off the table.
It's a good ban coming through, so they don't want to pick Sephora themselves as the first pick. I'm guessing they're banking on Varus, but I would see Cream Esports going for a Varus ban. The question is, what do Geo want to leave in the pool for themselves to pick as first, and what do they want to give away to Cream?
Does Cream Esports take away? They obviously went Florentino for their first ban. Do they take away the Elsu again?
I think they do after that last game, and Geo reckon that means they get the Varus. If Cream are smart, though, they recognize that Mengi had a strong performance, but he can do that on Telenos as well. It's more important to keep the Varus out, and they
don't
disagree.
care. They want the Elsu, which means Varus is on the board and available, but instead, Geo Esports hovers over the Necroth, maybe wanting to get some comfort back into the hands of Myth.
If they pick the Necroth, they are legitimately just doing it because they want experience playing against Varus, and that seems like a pretty major gamble. Instead, they'll just get the Varus.
The Thorn coming to play now, which leaves opportunities aplenty for Cream. Clearly, Annette being on the table, Richter as well if they so choose, but it seems like the Annette is to be the potential hover for Cream Esports, a little bit more comfort in that support position.
I would actually go for a Tulin pick right now, because Tulin was left into the pool this time around, and it is a strong pick to have. In general, its mobility and the damage coming through is going to be really good.
So now, Tulin, just like that, Envision yet again coming away with the 1-2 pick. Tulin and Annette locked in now for Cream Esports, which leaves Geo an opportunity to secure their last 2 picks of the first phase.
I think this has already gone in their favor if they go ahead and draft themselves a teamfight brawling comp. This is a comp I'd love to see a Crest involved in. This is a composition I'd love to see them go for a little bit more dive with, get up close to the Annette Tulin, force them to retreat, and absolutely delete them in team fights.
So why not pick up something like Richter Baldum here? As I say that, they love both of them in.
I won't give you the credit on that one. That was too synergistic. Richter and Baldum locked in, which means Baldum will be going to the support position, which will throw Richter now into the side lane.
The major reason you go for the Richter, you go for the Baldum is again for that engage. You want to get close against the relatively squishy comp of Annette Tulin, and that's forced Cream to adapt. They lock in the Ibanez for a sideline so that they have someone who can stand against the dive, but that means they're kind of lacking in overall synergy because they now have 2 pretty much dedicated support characters in the Ibanez, in the Annette, who can do damage, but they're going to be much less so than other side lanes and supports.
And this actually gives a huge opportunity for Geo Esports as well with their last 2 bans to make sure that they pick some high damage carries away from them. Natalia seems to be the hover. If this is the case, that immediately means Cream Esports has something in the cards. Instead, they say, no, forget it. We don't have to worry about it. Necroth.
If there's one thing that can save this Cream Esports draft, it is a Natalia. Natalia would actually be perfect. It would give them the damage scale they're missing, and it would actually benefit from the absurd amount of stun they built from their double support comp.
They do take away the Violet,
Natalia
though.
would be weird.
Geo takes away the Violet, another late game damage threat from the back line as a potential option being taken away. Now Cream Esports with one more opportunity to figure out what they want to take off.
Well, I would imagine Cream would be looking at something along the lines of middle ban here, but it wouldn't make much sense as well because Liliana and Zephyr are both being banned, and other than that, you really have just everything else.
Jungle focus for Cream Esports now. The Maraud seems to be the final hover and what they're going to take away. Geo has an opportunity to take away another jungler if they so choose, or maybe they just want to go with another marksman.
Well, this Murad ban I do not understand. Geo hasn't run Murad once in their games of Valor series, so that's just seems like a kind of throwaway ban at this point.
Mengi does have the final ban here. Cream Esports will the first pick out of the second phase. They should be rushing themselves towards something with a ton of sustained damage. A Lindis I'd actually really like. Something that can hover at the back of the team fights and do damage over the course of them.
But they say
Geo
no, thank you.
agree.
They do.
They're
they
like,
say,
that's a good idea.
Let's take that one away. Lindis, the final ban for Geo Esports is now Cream is able to select
Morin.
what they want. Morin, I know a name that we've been looking on, and immediately Looks like Bunny is going to start sifting through all of the marksmen,
Morin would be
figuring out
good.
which one is going to be the best. Morin seems to be the hover and who they might decide to lock in now for their marksman threat.
The reason Morin's really good over, say, a Wisp, who normally would be the perfect pick for this, is because the Morin can stay behind the net and benefit from wind cuffs. If you pull two people together with the wind cuffs, you slap down a magnetic storm on top of them, and they're both within the AoE radius of the ult.
Yeah, Geo, they're going to be closing the draft out with the mid as well as the jungle pick. So Slims for the range and Natalia coming through. So that's going to be an interesting, spicy composition to round themselves up with. But it makes a lot of sense. They do need the team fight. Natalia brings a lot of damage to the team fight.
The final pick here for Cream Esports. Ooh,
Arduin.
That's been a while.
It is. It's been a while since we've seen the Arduin come in.
So the theory behind the Arduin is an extra tanky frontline engage. That I'm not sure I like, because the only damage from their team now, the only sustained damage from their team now is the Morin.
And that's a lot of pressure to put on Bunny.
Yeah, and it's a jungle Morin.
Yes.
Where this is side lane marksman, I maybe would believe, but it not being in Dragon Lane, it'll take so long for the Morin to get farmed up. I think they'll be interrupted by the heavy engage threatened by the other side, particularly Lycan playing Varus.
Well, the thing is, they have a little bit of a kind of a buffer zone, because Tulum will be able to scale them from early game to mid game pretty well. So if Morin has a chance to farm up in that period, Tulum will be able to handle the game for most of that. And if Morin comes online in the late game, that's what they're going to be looking for, because Morin will deal the most amount of damage in the late game with those auto attacks that he will be bringing out.
Well, we're going to get ourselves into the load screen now. You can see the bans and picks on your screen. Huge question marks for Cream Esports and what their late game damage is going to be. Again, a lot of pressure on that Morin and Bunny to be able to make it to the late game. And the most difficult aspect about all of this is Geo Esports is the strongest in those situations, because team fights are their bread and butter.
I think should they make it to the late game, they also have more problems, because the Natalia is going to be scary, the Varus is going to be unkillable, and anytime that Nature's Realm starts, Baldum's Wild Prison just eats it up. So you're not going to be able to run on the Nature's Realm. The Hurricane Wall is not going to keep you safe from the Flying Spear stuns, which combo very well with the Natalia Arcane Nova. I actually think this may be over in the draft again, with Geo walking away with the favor. The one thing I would say is I also don't like Slims, because he takes forever to farm up in jungle.
I do want to see how the performance is
fun
for Varus. This will be the first Varus that we see in Latin America. I'm curious to see how the playstyle differs. We saw a very roam-heavy, a very mechanically skilled Varus over in Europe. We saw Hot perform pretty well on him. But now, how is Geo going to perform on Varus?
The thing is, though, up against that Varus, they do not have a lot of lockdown, and Varus usually does have the passive that helps her just kind of neglect that lockdown as well.
Well, we're going to find out which one of these teams have decided to find themselves a successful piece of strategy, as our second game of the second match, Geo Esports versus Cream, starts now.
Oh, we do have a poke war as per accustomed to the games now in the early days. We do have, or the early seconds of the game, we're going to have both of these teams locking down into the middle. They're continuing to kind of the idea that I was on. There is no lockdown, or there isn't heavy lockdown on the side of Cream Esports to lock that Varus down. So Varus will be absolutely devastating in those team fights.
What about the Arduin?
Well, the Arduin only has an ultimate, right? Or it has the call as well, but realistically, how well will you be able to position it in a team fight in that chaos?
I think there's some pretty good stuns if you factor in the Hurricane Wall and the Nature's Realm, as well as Redwood Rush. It is very reliant on, I think, particularly the Redwood Rush and the Arduin's Cull to, or Rend rather, to open up the fight. But the tools are there for Cream.
Yeah, but you have to consider, looking at Geo Esports side, they have Varus has stun, they have Slims who has stun, they have Baldum who has a knock, or basically a pullback and a AoE stun. They have Natalia who has a stun. They have Richter who has a stun, as well as they are going to go and initiate onto the Bunny there. Bunny going to fall low HP. There's the first blood going onto the hands of Meng there, playing that Richter. Geo, they're not done just yet. The pushback's going to be there. Elvind gets the second kill of the game. And once again, Geo Esports, they start the game strong.
And that's relying a lot on Elwyn's Bolden play. I touched on this earlier on. Elwyn is very good on both the Thane and the Bolden because he can zone into the front lines and isolate targets. When you have a target isolated, Geo are guaranteed the fight.
Yeah, indeed they are, and Abyssal Dragon once again gonna be in the books for them as they're gonna be looking for that specific objective. Once again, the dash forward and the push back onto Arkle. He's gonna be taken out of the fight before it basically even starts. Cream now, they're looking for redemption there. They're looking to avenge their fallen brother, but they cannot find a kill. And Abyssal Dragon has reset as well, which means that objective is out of the books as well.
Yep, no Abyssal Dragon to be picked up, but Geo Esports running away in the kill lead, running away in the gold lead. The onus is on Cream to pick it up. They need to make a difference here. They need to shake the status quo.
Indeed they do, but we do have for now a little bit of a slower pace than last game. Geo does have 3 kills, but it has been a little bit of slower pace. They haven't gone as aggressive as they did last game.
No, both games have very slow farming, or both teams rather have very slow farming junglers. So neither of them are going to start invading until they're starting to hit their second or third item. That's going to be around the 5-minute mark at the earliest.
Yeah, we will definitely have to see how these jungles have an impact on the game later on here, as for now, Cream and Geo, they're clashing here and there, a little bit of a poke war, but it's definitely a lot slower pace from Geo than it was last game. It kind of gives Cream the chance to come back online as well, but not if they do something like that, which is lose another member.
Every moment that Geo stall out the game and don't necessarily win, I think they are closer to winning the late game. Because, yeah, sure, the Morin's going to be terrifying, but late game Natalia, I think, trumps that all.
Well, Natalia is pretty scary, but you have to consider Natalia is an immobile target once channeling that ultimate, so she will be kind of a thing to put your damage onto on those team fights.
Smith, though, playing very smart right now. Him and Elwind are both just focusing on keeping that Abyssal Dragon alive. Smith first works out.
What an ultimate from Baldem coming through, and that's going to be followed up by Geo Esports as well. SP is going to be the next one to follow. The Venom connects as well. There's a jump in from Lycan and the passive pop as well, but it's a little too late for the side of Cream Esports. They've lost 3 in this crucial fight.
Another good team fight start from Elwyn, quite literally isolating the characters there and opening things up for the big AoE damage from both Lycan and Smith. Menge's the player who chases down the kills, utilizing the mobility of the Richter.
Yeah, Menge has had a pretty good game here, 2-0-5, but Natalia 1-0-6. She's been a part of every kill that they've taken on the side of Geo Esports. She's been there helping her team out, dealing the damage that's necessary for the team to finish off those kills, and that's good to see because Natalia gets the money off of that, and the better Natalia gets her farm, the better she will have in terms of damage, in terms of the items.
And that's exactly what they needed. Farm up the Natalia, get her out ahead so that they're able to build out an early lead, so that they can carry that lead to the late game where the Natalia will one-shot most people on this map.
Yeah, Natalia does get scary in the mid to late game once they reach that point in the game. But for now, once again, we're going to have a little bit of a slower pace. Last time around in the 5-minute mark, we had a pretty insurmountable lead coming through from Geo Esports. This time around, it's only 4,000, but we do have Fury going down. Bunny is the next to follow as well, and that is a mistake after mistake coming through from Cream Esports. Arkle is going to be caught out. There's Neo getting channeled on, but he's not going to go down just yet. The lightning strike to bring him out of a sticky situation. Arkle gets the spear. There's the fire spirits as well, but Smith does not get those onto Arkle just yet. The Annette is going to be able to survive this poke.
Look at the good positioning from Smith that entire fight, brawling around the side so that they can be extra sure they're able to cut off any retreat attempts.
But Lycan now, he may be caught out here in the jungle. Morin's double auto attack comes through, but it's not gonna be enough. Lycan gets the safety, and Cream now, they are just stuck with nothing to get Oracle, gets stunned up by the spear. There's the ultimate coming through, and that's gonna be a huge one. Jumping in, it's gonna be Furia with that Ren coming through, and the knockup from the Cole. Elwind is gonna be dashing away, but finally a good fight coming through from the side of Cream Esports. They get one of these kills, but rest of Geo are backing away from this one, as double kill has happened on the hands of Smith.
He absolutely demolishes that team fight. Smith arrives from the side after the team fight is already well underway and decimates them, using the lethal rays to burn down 2 targets while they're trapped in the team fight, while they're trapped inside the Arcane Nova. He leaves the fight with 3 kills and 7 assists, the vast majority of his team's AoE damage in these close clumped fights.
Yeah, indeed it does. And Smith now, he's once again proving the damage. Lycan in the forefront of the fight gets the kill, and the second one to follow up will be Elwind. There's Furia being locked down by the slow of Smith, but there's the ultimate channel coming through. Smith takes another kill. That's 4-0-9 on the books for him, as Geo are closing objective after objective from these kills.
Very well done by Smith. He's not done yet managing to zone out Wave as well. You can see exactly how aggressive he's able to play, because he knows not only is Elwin going to be there to defend him, but he can do so much damage that it almost doesn't matter if the Cream Esports members do catch him out. Worst case, he pops the lethal rays, and that extra shielding and CC invulnerability will keep him safe on its own.
Yeah, that's something that Natalia definitely can utilize in those team fights. But once again, the pushback's going to be there from Elwind. And finally, we do have SPPVE going down here on the hands of Smith. That's a blood, what was it, bloodshot. Well, we did have a score streak coming through, but Bunny is going to go down on the hands of Smith as well, now dominating this side of Cream Esports. It's looking unstoppable at this point.
Yeah, I think Geo kind of had this game in the bag once they got all those opening kills because of their capacity to leverage them onto their late game characters. It's very, very hard to regain farm if you're a slow farm character like a Morin and you're not able to control your early jungle and you fall behind in kills.
Well, Fury does get caught out here. Cream Esports are looking for the last fight of their life, but they are not going to be able to take anything just yet. They've only traded 1 kill, but Geo are looking to close this one out. Neo almost gets hit by the spear there, as Geo are looking for the tower up top. Meng on the bottom side has been able to take down Bunny. Geo still looking for the game here, as SPP does get taken by the spear. There's the ultimate from Smith, and Neo gets taken out by Richter as well. That's an ace coming through, and the base will fall 22-1. It's going to be the second game scoreline, and that is a pretty good game coming through from Geo once more.
Yet again, Geo Esports secure themselves a victory in under 10 minutes. This has actually been the first series in the Valor series of the season, spread across 3 regions, where both games have actually ended sub 10 minutes. Geo Esports showing yet again what happens when you get the lead and you know what to do.